They plan to jump from the Alps at over 4,000 meters high. Even a stone thrown from here would take a full 6 seconds to reach the ground. Once everything is ready, they put on their wingsuits and jump without hesitation. The fatality rate for wingsuit flying like this is as high as 60%. Out of 8 billion people worldwide, only a few hundred dare to attempt this sport. Fortunately, none of them are trying it for the first time. Despite the strong winds, they manage to maintain their balance and quickly enter an ideal flight state, flying downward at 100 kilometers per hour. At the foot of the mountain is a patch of bushes, not an ideal landing spot, so they must concentrate and try to avoid every obstacle ahead. The slightest mistake could result in crashing into trees and death. After 5 minutes of flight, they finally pass through this dangerous zone. However, what comes next is their real challenge. Ahead lies a massive canyon 5,000 meters long, but less than 3 meters wide. At this point, their flight speed has reached an astonishing 500 kilometers per hour. Any minor error would cause them to crash into the rocks on the cliff walls. Moreover, the air currents in the canyon are extremely unstable. To maintain balance, they must constantly adjust their flight state. Every body movement increases the probability of error by 1 degree. One of them nearly hits a rock while turning, but fortunately adjusts in time and avoids the crisis. Eventually, relying on their solid flying skills, they successfully pass through the canyon, then open their parachutes and land safely on a grassy field. This challenge boosts everyone's confidence. They all look forward to the remaining 3 challenges, unaware that they will pay a heavy price for what comes next. The next day, they arrive at a snow mountain 5,000 meters above sea level, preparing to slide down to the bottom on snowboards, without scouting the route first, completing the 6th challenge of the Ozaki 8, Life of Ice. Before everyone is ready, Jimmy starts sliding directly from the highest point. As the new member of the team, Jimmy's action shocks the others. Not wanting to be last, they all go crazy and chase after him on their snowboards, without even taking proper safety measures. Little do they know this route is full of rocks. At first, everyone manages to avoid these obstacles with their rich skiing experience, but gradually their speed increases and their stamina rapidly declines. Halfway down the mountain, one team member accidentally steps on a piece of gravel, causing him to veer off the team's route and slide uncontrollably toward a cliff. Not until they reach the foot of the mountain do they realize one person is missing, but their teammate is already dead. Only then does Jimmy realize he's a police officer. He believes his teammate's death is his responsibility. Although these people are all robbers he needs to catch, causing their deaths is equally criminal. But the team leader says these challenges are inherently dangerous. No one knows what will happen the next second. This reminds Jimmy of his friend's death again, so he decides to leave the team and not participate in the remaining 2 challenges. Seeing Jimmy return to the police station empty-handed, the police chief is furious. There are only 3 days left until the deadline to catch the robbers. If they fail, the chief faces the risk of being fired. To bring the robbers to justice, Jimmy has no choice but to follow them to Angel Falls in Venezuela. This is the 7th challenge. Challengers need to climb from the bottom to the top of the 979-meter-high waterfall without any safety measures. Moreover, the cliff walls are covered with slippery moss, so what they're doing is tantamount to suicide. Despite this, the 2 start climbing without hesitation. When Jimmy arrives, they've already reached halfway up the mountain. To prevent them from escaping, Jimmy immediately grabs onto the cliff wall and starts climbing, following closely behind them. For the 2 robbers, this is a challenge to honor nature. But for Jimmy, this is no longer simply a cop catching thieves. It's more like self-redemption, giving him the courage to face his friend's death directly. Soon, another accident occurs. One of them can't find a suitable handhold and can only hang onto the cliff wall with one hand, leaving his entire body suspended in midair. To survive, he tries climbing upward several times, but to no avail. As his strength slowly depletes, he gives up struggling.
See you soon.
After watching his teammate die, the gang leader seems even more energized. Carrying their shared dream, he climbs upward with all his might, with Jimmy following closely behind. Finally, after an hour of effort, both reach the top of the waterfall. But just as Jimmy is about to catch the robber, the latter suddenly closes his eyes and jumps off. Jimmy instinctively tries to save him, and jumps down as well. This turns out to be the final challenge of the Ozaki 8, Ultimate Trust. It's said that those who complete all 8 challenges can achieve rebirth. Thanks to the cushioning effect of the water below, Jimmy ultimately survives. But the robber isn't so lucky. There's no sign of him anywhere. Perhaps death is his best destination.